what's up, y'all? It's your girl BG, and I'm back with another reaction video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please do all of that good shit down below so y'all know when I'm gonna hit y'all with another one. So anyways, for y'all today, I have the new Ezee Natalie, and yes, y'all, they dropped this, I don't know, about an hour ago or so, y'all, and yes, I'm reacting to it tonight because, well, I wanted to see this shit and I didn't want to wait until the morning. So y'all, this is getting therapy in front of the world, and yes, it is with Shan. I knew it was. So I am not gonna hold y'all or myself any longer. Let's just go ahead and see what they're getting into today, y'all.
Thrill and excitement is gone because that passion phase is really based on the unknown.
Intimacy is just not there, and it's affecting us.
If there's a good amount of time that has gone by, like, we should be able to
Have sex. I'm not going to continue to feel like I'm not being heard in this relationship.
It's not just about venting, it's about communicating.
Why does someone get upset that I'm upset?
That's what I feel like.
Calling each other names, like those type of things are not necessary if you're really trying to communicate with your partner.
And there's really good news and then there's really bad news here.
What's up?
Gang, 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 gang. Okay, y'all.
We out here.
It's a little construction going on, but we're happy to be back on our channel.
Yes, welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
If you guys missed us, we
happy
missed you.
that they're back.
Yes.
If you didn't miss us, then
we still missed you. Yes. Guys, we've been a little absent from YouTube lately, and our personal lives need a little bit of attention, and I feel like, you know, because we're so honest with you guys, we're gonna let you guys know what's going on today.
Yeah, we decided to take a little hiatus. Focus on the relationship a little bit because it was suffering.
Yeah, it was
a very, very,
and
very
we want to
good
be
thing.
honest, we've been taking therapy, guys. We've been doing therapy, and with that therapy, it's been helping a lot.
It has been, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I felt like it wasn't enough. At least the route that we were taking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're here today with our friend Shan. If you guys don't know who Shan is beautiful.
Sexologist. We'll let her introduce
Yes,
herself. Yeah.
yes. So we're here and we're gonna get some advice, relationship advice, couple advice, and just maybe that she can help us out with some of the things that we're going through. So
Maybe you guys will take something away from it for your relationships too.
yeah, let's get it popping. You guys ready? If you're new to this channel, make sure you guys subscribe. If you're not new and you're not subscribed, please subscribe.
And turn those post notifications on so you know
Yes,
when we
y'all,
post.
please.
Please.
If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like, comment, and turn your bell on.
This
Post
setup is
notifications,
fire.
whatever.
We don't hug?
Yeah. We can hug. Okay. We can definitely hug. We can definitely hug. You look beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much. This is so cool. This whole setup is fire. Yo, the plants. I'm loving it.
Are you flirting so I'll take your side in this discussion?
I think
Is that
so.
the strategy?
I think that's what
I'm
it is.
sorry, y'all. I just got a text and it made
That's
me
not
laugh.
what it is. First and
It's
foremost.
working. She's toxic.
Yes! Yes! That's what I needed. Come on. Let's go. Okay, you know, I was a little bit scared because I honestly feel like just because they are very similar in looks, like, you know, have very much similarities in their face, you know. So I was like, she's definitely gonna side with her, and it's just the eyes. So I was like, I was scared. But since you said that,
A little
I know
bit,
where this
not
is
a
going.
whole lot, a little bit.
Safe space. All right, we're here.
Hi, hello.
We're here. I know we're all excited now, but it might get like
A little serious.
a little serious.
A little serious is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for trusting me to listen in on this conversation. I'm really
Yeah.
honored by that.
Of course. Well, let's start like this. Why don't you introduce yourself so
Yes.
they know, you know, exactly what you do and stuff before we get into
Hi,
it.
I'm Shan Boudram. I look a lot like Natalie, but we are different people.
And we're not even related.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
I talk about sex, love, and relationships for a living. I am a fan. I am a student. I am an educator. I have an educational background in psychology, sexology, and journalism, which I think just makes me professionally curious in this
Yeah.
area. But to me, it was basically came out of a place of this is one area in our life that is so important, but we invest so little time in learning, practicing, and becoming masters of because we assume that if it's right, it'll
Yeah.
just come natural.
Right.
And it just wasn't coming natural to me.
Yo.
So I invested a lot of time in education and thought to myself, wow, a lot of other people could benefit from this kind of information and knowledge too.
Yeah.
So I made it my mission to make information about sex, love, and relationships accessible. to make sex education sexy. And that's what brought me here to you guys today, because I talk about this online, or I talk about it wherever I possibly can. And again, like I said, I'm thrilled to talk to you.
Yeah, no, we're really excited about it too. And this, ladies and gents, is why we decided to come talk to her about it. Because
she does this shit.
She does this. She has a lot of knowledge on it. And like we, expressed to you guys, our relationship has, it's been suffering a little bit.
Especially
recently.
in that area.
So, let's get into it.
Well, I do want to clarify and just say that you guys invest in a therapeutic process together, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And any therapist will tell you that the mistake a lot of couples make is they wait until it's too late to go to therapy.
Yes.
And you guys are like, no,
true.
we go and we ask for help all the time.
Yes.
Now, I'm not a therapist. This is not a therapeutic session.
Right.
This is a conversation that is led by curiosity, and I will provide insight where I can. But really, I think the best thing that I can do is just be here to be another person to be like, what about this? What about that?
Yeah, no, 100%, especially with some of the knowledge that you have. I feel like you'll have the right questions to ask.
So why are we here?
Yeah, we need help. I feel like our relationship has been suffering, and in that way, I mean our romance, our romantic life has been suffering. We used to be very romantic in the beginning, and it was just so much spark, so much fire, and now it's work, and that intimacy is just not there, and it's affecting us. Even the way we work, the way we talk to each other, and the way we handle each other is just, it needs a lot of attention, and we need to seek help, whether it's trying to switch it up, understanding each other's love languages or whatever, but it's just not it right now.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is that we're both very curious as to why it's not working, and we're both willing to go and seek help any way possible. Like we've been trying therapy, like talking to you who have a lot of education in this field. So
How are you feeling the exact same way that Ezee's feeling in terms of that mojo, that sauce?
Yeah, I feel like that mojo and sauce is definitely, lacking.
A little more mild.
Yeah, it's a little mild. It was very spicy before. Now it's a little mild. And I think that we have some communication issues on my end. I feel like a big thing is like communication and how we get along in our day to day. That really does probably affect our romance, because if we're not like mentally on the same page, we're not getting along as much and stuff like that, it's not gonna make me feel that, like, it's hard for me to just let that go. If I feel like we were just arguing, now I don't really want to come over and be all on you and be kissing you and stuff like that. That's not how like my brain works.
Exactly. I'm the same way. Like that.
What's interesting?
I feel like I'm that
mad
way.
at you,
I'm very much that way when it comes to intimacy. Like, especially because being a woman, I feel like with at least from the guy friends that I have, even if him and his partner are arguing, or friends, they're arguing with their woman, it's like they could still have that sex. You know what I'm saying? Me, for arguing, I don't want to have it. Like, it's not turning me on. You feel me? But she complains about that. Like, oh, I feel like I'm not wanted. I feel like you don't want me enough. But it's just like, well, we're just arguing. Or when I do give it to you, or we do have sex, you want to argue right after. Where it's just like, I'm the type of person, I'm like, yo, if we having sex, especially if it's been a long time, I'm expecting us not to argue. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I wanted to treat it like it's a reward, but it's like, dang, remember those times we could just have sex and it just feels so good after? Why the fuck are we arguing?
Yes.
What's the answer to that question? What is like the root of the conflicts? Like, where's that stemming from repeatedly?
I think a lack of communication, honestly, and like not really knowing. I think comfortability. Let me just say that. I think the main issue we have in this relationship is comfortability, because I feel like the way that, from speaking on my end specifically, I feel like the way, that sometimes you'll be comfortable in talking to me, or just like getting so easily frustrated, or the lack of trying to court me still, that affects us so much. You know, it affects me so much. I wouldn't say us because I'm going to speak for myself, to the point where it's like, all right, well, where is there room for romance when I feel like, and just a normal conversation, something that should never lead to an argument is going to lead to an argument because of the way that it's said, or the comfortability of like getting so easily frustrated. You know, so I feel like that's like a huge thing for me.
It's difficult for you to go from conflict to sex.
Yeah.
What is the conflict?
The conflict, I think, is just I'll get too comfortable with her, and like she was pretty much saying, and it's just like, why are you upset about that? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with her, what she does is it's like almost kind of like the same, but in different ways. She argues a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like her always having a response to something is just like, like not stimulating me mentally. You know what I'm saying? Which is also internally like affecting my romance in, you know, that type of way, you know. So I don't know if that answers
definitely
the question.
something I've
I
noticed
think so.
about
I mean,
women
I think what I
born in
hear
November.
in summary
Very
is
argumentative.
that the fact that you guys are not communicating with each other in loving
Shit's
ways
crazy.
or in ways that make you feel loved or desired by each other all day long is impacting you in terms of the passion and the sexual desire in the relationship, which also causes frustration, which makes the other problems compounded. Because
Exactly.
now you go to the next day being sexually frustrated in addition to being like, I don't like how you spoke to me.
Exactly.
So it feels like it's a cycle.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that we do, just to kind of touch on something that you said earlier, I think we do share like very similar like viewpoints on like, okay, if we're not getting along, we're not really sexually like attracted to each other, or we're not in that mode. But for me, I think like I can get over things a little bit faster than she can. So if we argue in the morning and then now it's later in the evening and we've been getting along, having lots of laughs and stuff like that, like I'm okay with like, to me that was in the morning. I'm okay with like us being sexual now, but she'll say things like, well, we haven't even been getting along and stuff like that. And then like sometimes I will feel like, well, dang, it's not a reward, you know, like how she said, well, it's not, you know, she's like, I don't look at it like a reward, but sometimes it feels like it's being treated as one. If like, I don't think, of course, I'm not the type of person that wants to have sex like in the moment of arguing, and some people are like that. But I feel like if there's a good amount of time that has gone by, like we should be able to
Have sex?
It's not that
like
easy.
still be romantic if we've been getting along.
She's a
for the
Taurus.
past,
It's
like,
a whole
5
Taurus
hours.
thing.
Right. But I guess this isn't something that you can put a we label on.
Yeah.
Because you might feel that way.
Right.
And also to resolution, sometimes you could feel resolved.
We could be
Maybe that's
talking and getting
because
along, but that doesn't mean
Ezee
that the situation from
apologized to you.
earlier is
But in
resolved.
return, maybe she doesn't feel
That's
resolved.
just how
and so
we
what
think.
you
I'm
can move on
sorry.
about, because like we talking about, we ended it. For
Yo.
you, maybe it didn't end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
could be the case.
That is the case a lot of the time.
Or do you feel like you're the kind of person who just stays in a stank mood for a long period of time?
No, I think that I can hold, not a grudge, but it's just like, if I'm affected in a big way, you know what I'm saying? It's not that we just argued about freaking who can choose what food it is. It's like an argument sometimes where it's like, yo, like this could be detrimental to our relationship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just get over that, you know, or my feelings being ignored. I'm not going to continue to feel like I'm not being heard in this relationship. And because I feel that way, and you're not catering to that feeling, it's like, how am I going to be sexually like, or how am I supposed to be sexual right now, or you know what I'm saying, or try to have sex, you know? So I'm not in that mode when I feel like you don't cater to my feelings, you know.
It's like that.
There's a couple of quizzes that I want to suggest right now that I think first of all, foremost, let me just frame this discussion by saying there's really good news and then there's really bad news here.
Okay.
The really good news is that this is so common that when we get to a place in a relationship, especially multi-hyphenate relationships, friends, business partners, lovers, homies, dog walkers for each other, you do everything together, right? We can start out with high passion, but eventually that passion turns more into a companionship. And that's the goal of love in general. You want to get to a place where you are now locked in. That's where commitment takes place. But there's a trade-off that happens in that balance, because now I know you so well and I can rely on you so much that thrill and excitement is gone, because that passion phase is really based on the unknown.
Yeah.
The more you get to know someone, the less that you don't know, so the less that there is that sort of adrenaline rush when that person walks around. So that's the good and the bad news, is that you've now moved into a stage of your relationship where you have a deeper level of commitment, you have more responsibilities together, you have to rely on each other for a lot more, and that's amazing. But the downside is that the passion doesn't become this automatic thing anymore. It becomes something that you have to intentionally work for. Do you feel like you've made that adjustment to now intentionally working to create that passion rather than just expecting it to be there?
I feel like in a lot of ways we just kind of expect it to be there. I don't think that we've put in adequate work towards keeping that passion alive. I think that some other issues that we have in our relationship, like, are things that we like to consider like our non-negotiables, where it's like, okay, I need this in a partner and she needs this in a partner. I think those things we have like put in a lot of work towards, where it just kind of is a cycle. Like, it'll get better for a while and then the same topic continues to come up. But I definitely feel like we could put more effort towards like keeping the passion and romance alive. It's just a little bit hard to do that when we're having a hard time getting along because of those non-negotiables.
Yeah, and I think that we don't intentionally, all of the things that we already are going through, it's like, it's hard when you're just working. You know what I'm saying? You're just working. You're not catering to the relationship. You're not catering to even yourself. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like intentionally putting in that sexual effort and complimenting each other and stuff like that, we just don't do it enough. And as we are here, you can see that. You know what I'm saying?
So if we broke this down to kind of like 3 different buckets, bucket 1 is just general communication that makes me feel disrespected or unloved.
Right.
And obviously you respect each other and you love each other. So the great news is that all you got to do here is be mindful of what triggers your partner and avoid that language. So when you say, you know, Weezy gets frustrated with you really easily, what are some of the languages or things that she does that you're like, hey, it would mean a lot to me if you, even though you're comfortable with me, instead of just coming to me automatically and correcting me or giving me that tone, I would actually appreciate if you gave me more grace and patience in these areas.
I think that I'm very much like tone sensitive. I don't really want people to talk to me with an attitude, let alone yell at me. You know, I've been like that since I was little. Like, I would get, if my mom would yell at me or a teacher would yell at me, I'd start crying immediately. Like, I don't like that. And I think that's kind of like, she'll call it passion when she's speaking to me. And sometimes I'm like, I shut down. Like, I don't respond well to like anybody raising their voice at me or coming at me with like a certain tone. That would be something that I'd appreciate if you didn't do. Or like even like cussing when we're upset. Like, I would like for us to practice not doing that, like not cussing at each other or, you know, being super offensive, like calling each other names, like those type of things. Like, I feel are not necessary if you're really trying to communicate with your partner and not just like be offensive.
I would love, because we're not going to accomplish, and again, we're not in a therapy session here and we're covering a lot in a short space of time, but what we're trying to just accomplish is like, what are the areas and the potential for growth, the opportunities for growth? And that's an opportunity for growth right there. So I just want to know, because you can't fix this in a day. It could take years to curb those things, because obviously that reaction, those emotional reactions might be learned behavior from childhood even. So that's work that you have to dedicate to doing up by yourself. So I would just love if in this moment you could reflect back to Natalie what you just heard and what your intentions are given what she just said.
You know, my intentions are never to make you feel like I'm attacking you. You know what I'm saying? So like when I am speaking passionately and I'm feeling some heightened emotions, I know it can come off aggressive, and I want to cater to you being tone sensitive and stuff like that. So, you know, I want to make sure that I'm being aware of the way that I'm speaking to you, so you don't feel like, all right, I just don't care about your feelings, or I'm being angry or aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And just catering to that emotion, so you know that I actually care you know, and I'm actually taking what you're saying into consideration and wanting to do better for this relationship. That way we can get to moments to, even if we are arguing, it can be like, wow, she's being very sweet, and it can even turn somewhat sexual, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think in order for change to happen, you have to change more than just your mind.
Yeah.
Right, like that's anything else in life. I can't just decide like I want to get in better shape today. I've got to change lifestyle. I got to change habits. I got to put a plan in action to follow through with that.
Yeah.
So because one of the harder things to change is the way that we react when we're emotionally triggered, because we go into fight or flight, and that's a very automatic system.
Yeah.
So in order to ensure that you don't snap at your partner, what other changes are you willing to make good on the promise you just made verbally?
I think other changes that I can make is just, I think, meditating more. You know what I'm saying? To keep that calmness and awareness is something that I like to do is mirror practices. You know what I'm saying? And those things help me be way more calm, a way more calm person. You know what I'm saying? So I think internally I have to work on myself before I can give all of that to you, you know, and making that action. So hopefully, does that answer the question? Or
yeah, is therapy something that you engage in alone or have thought of engaging alone if anger outbursts are something that you're like, oh, I do that and I don't like that I do that?
Yeah, I've tried it and I think it was very beneficial. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, I don't know, it's just with therapists are just like, it's like they don't get there. You know, they don't give you but they're also just a regular human, so they can't give you all of the answers. You know what I'm saying? You got to do the work yourself too. So I think it's helped so much, and I've changed so much drastically. So a lot of things that she has said and mentioned, I've changed drastically. Therapy could help, but I feel like it's not that big enough to where it's like, all right, I could do this with her, the therapy sessions together, you know?
And you feel like meditation is that solo practice you can do by yourself. There's things that within your own control.
Yeah.
And that's actually really helpful.
Yeah.
Does that feel like a satisfactory plan to you?
Yeah. I feel like if it is something that like you actually, you know, stick to and can be like consistent with, I think it would actually really help, because I have noticed like when you are taking more time for yourself, like emotionally and mentally, and just like creating like a peaceful space for yourself, I've noticed like it makes a big difference in how you react to things and interact with me.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about you.
Let's talk
about
that. Now, what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah.
I'm waiting for Shannon.
Well, on the flip side, Ezee also identified that there's ways that you communicate with her that light her fire, that can feel combative or argumentative, that create that need for her to feel like she has to raise her voice to you. So are you aware, when you heard her say that, did that feel like that was truth to you? Are you aware of that?
That I can be argumentative sometimes? Yeah, I definitely would say I can agree that I can be argumentative.
Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth. If you were kind of re-express for you, like what's the thing in your day-to-day communication that you're like, I kind of want to see this change?
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
I feel like something that I complain about the most in this relationship is my feelings being heard. I think that with her, I have to be gentle, and the things that she says, like, it's not that it's like a never. So when she's like, all right, be soft, be this, be that, I'm like, okay, I can do those things. But when it comes to my needs and my feelings and being heard, they aren't reciprocated. There's always a but. There's always a because. There's always, well, you know, maybe you shouldn't feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it feels like my feelings are being belittled 90% of the time in this relationship, to where it's just like, dang, like every time she expresses herself and what she feels, a lot of times it can be an argument, but a lot of times it's like, okay, I hear you. I feel like majority of the times I express my feelings, it always ends up in an argument. You know what I'm saying? And that sucks to feel like, dang, all right, how should I express myself and my feelings in this relationship without it getting into an argument, even though it's me expressing myself, you know? And that's where it typically goes. How is it that you're upset about, you're arguing with me about what I feel, you know? Instead of not justifying, but understanding and catering to that feeling, you know? And that is a huge, huge reason why, like, this part of our relationship affects me romantically.
I want to gloss over that, and then I want you to get more specific, because I think what Natalie did for you just now is gave you something very tangible and actionable that you can work on.
Okay.
Which is good and helpful. But you're saying, when I give you things to work on, the way that you respond doesn't give me confidence that I can be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I also kind of want to know what specifically is something that you're like, yeah, when I say this is what I want to focus on. But I have a rule of thumb when it comes to that, because it's very difficult to answer your question, like, why does someone get upset that I'm upset? Because we go into fight or flight. You know, that person attacks you, and then all of a sudden now your defenses are up, your ego is up, like you're no longer responding from a place of rationale, like you're in protective
My camera
mode.
about to die, y'all.
I think a good thing to be mindful of is when that happens for you, to be like, okay, right now I'm defensive when my person needs me to be receptive. And I use the analogy of, imagine, Natalie, you're home and you're inside, you're watching your favorite TV show, right? And Natalie comes in and she is soaking wet. And she's like, where were you? Like, where have you been? You're supposed to pick me up. I was outside in the rain, now I'm soaking wet. You're mad because she came in really aggressive, but also she's the one who's wet right now. She's the one who's disappointed. So your first priority has to be like, let's get you in dry clothes. Let me apologize to you because you're the person who's like really been impacted right now. And then after you're dry and you're settled and you're calm, now I can come to you and say, hey, I know that I let you down, disappointed you, and there was a miscommunication, but the way you brought it to me was hurtful. And I think that in mind, sometimes whenever whoever comes with the problem first, see that person as the person who's been outside cold, wet, and irritated. And even though the way that they brought it to you may not be the most comfortable way, just get that person dry and warm first, and then you can bring your thing in.
Wow.
That's a good
that was
example.
the best example I've heard in a really long time. And it was a great example of how she deals with things. And I'm like, not trying to be funny, like that really touched the spot. And I was like, dang, that's what I feel like, coming in wet all the time. And it's just like, well, why are you mad? Wait, why are you yelling? You know what I'm saying? Well, damn, I'm out here soaking wet. Like, that's so crazy you said that. I almost got emotional. That's how I feel.
That's a hard thing to put into practice, though, because human nature, when somebody says something to us that's can feel like an attack, our natural response. So we can remind each other this analogy in that moment to give that person some space to switch over into a calm and connect mode. But that's just a tool for you guys to use, and if you both can subscribe to it, it can be really powerful for relationships. Anyways, but going back to her getting something specific, she gave you something specific. What's one thing that you're like, I'd like you to work on this, and working on this would allow us to get a lot more peace out of our relationship?
It was just like that example just gave exactly what I mean. Like, whenever I'm coming to you with an issue about anything, I tiptoe about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're sensitive. So whenever I come to you with an issue, I want to feel like you're going to be receptive enough to be like, oh, okay, I hear your issue. But not say, okay, I hear your issue, but this is that. I just want you to be receptive and be like, you know what? Wow, I didn't know you had this issue with me. Or wow, dang, like now I could see it like that. Or dang, I didn't know this was affecting you. You know, I want to work on that. Or, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's always an if, and, or but, and because, you know? So if you can do that every time, or at least try to do that whenever I come to you with an issue, it will make me feel like my feelings are being acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? Without always arguing. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I'm not coming off aggressively, we still end up arguing, even if it's a sweet way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about, you make it about you. I feel like you make it about you instead of the overall bigger picture. Because it's like, okay, well, what am I feeling right now? That's not true. If this is Natalie, you're being receptive. This is what I feel. Like, I feel like, well, that's not true to me. Well, that's not what I feel. Well, since you tell me what you feel, let me make it about what I feel, what I've been feeling. You know what I'm saying? So is that specific enough for you?
I guess, yeah. I feel like it's kind of still a little broad, but like it's not like behavioral things I can specifically like pinpoint, like, I remember when I've done this. But I feel like I can definitely take in what you're saying. You're just saying like be more like open to hearing you out
and receptive,
and being receptive to you when you have an issue with something. Yeah,
and just but all that ties into how argumentative you are, and you know your personality and how you are is like very strong. You know what I'm saying? And it shows, and you know that about yourself. So just being a little bit more passionate and soft, you know, because at the end of the day, I know you're used to dealing with guys, and you vocalize like, dang, a guy would never do that. But it's just like, I am a woman. Same thing that you want is kind of like what I want. That soft, sweet,
a guy would never do that. Oh, yes,
you know?
fuck he would.
Is defensiveness a good word to utilize here?
Yo.
That she's defensive?
Yes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So if that's kind of an actual point of having a defensive personality, because when we're defensive, it's difficult to be empathetic and be sympathetic. So for you, when you hear that, is that something that you acknowledge and want to work on? And if so, what can you offer Ezee to say, like, this is something that I do want to fix for you?
Yeah, I feel like I could definitely see how, you know, being defensive of a situation, regardless of the reasons that why I become defensive about certain things, I can see how that doesn't feel compassionate to you or doesn't make you feel like heard. And like going back to Shan's like example of like, all right, well, you're cold, caught in the rain, so let's talk about that first. I think that that's a great like way to look at things, because I do find like I can think of specific examples where times like that have happened where that wasn't my first intention. It was to like make sure you're good first and dry and warm, because I felt like, you know, whatever the reason might be, it's not, my intentions wouldn't be like, oh, let me make sure you're warm and stuff. But that could probably help diffuse the situation a lot faster. I do think though, one part of what she said is like something really good for us both to take in, and that is like eventually you can bring up like, hey, now that you're dry and warm, like let's not handle things in this specific way, because I know that times where I've done that, you'll say I've made it about me now, where it's like even in the conversation, if I did try to cater to you, then like towards the end, like, oh, but you know, babe, like the way that you said this, I felt like that was really nasty towards me, or whatever the case may be. I'd rather you not, oh, now you're making it about you. Like, I feel like any conversation, we should both be open to hearing each other out. Or even if you're the one that brought it up, you should still be able to hear something that they said in the conversation, because it's not just about venting, it's about communicating. You know,
That's
overall,
true.
I definitely could say
That's
that,
true.
like, I can see how verbally making sure that you know that I'm hearing you and that I care can make the world a difference in a conversation between us when you're bringing something to my attention.
There's actually this quiz I want you guys to do. We don't probably time to do it here, but you should do it offline. So the same person who made love languages made apology languages, in acknowledging that people feel resolved in different ways.
Yeah.
There's 5 apology languages. I only think that 3 are really different. I think they were trying to keep with the 5 theme. But like genuinely repenting is important for people. A makeup act might be important for people. Or for some people, they want someone to take responsibility.
Yes.
So doing that quiz independently and then being like, hey, I know that you said you're sorry, but what I really need to feel like resolved from an issue, like for me, I am an act of repentance. Like if you broke my camera, buy me a new one. I don't care how sorry you are or how much you didn't intend. Like that's not
But
what's
I'm
going to matter to me.
also
I'm going to do a
somebody
makeup
that
act.
wants you to
Whereas
take
my husband Jared
accountability
is take
for your
responsibility.
actions.
It's so much more important for me
Like,
because I could go out and buy
yo.
him a new camera, but if I never said, that camera meant a lot to you and I was really careless with it, and I really need to do a better job of ensuring that I am careful with your property, he's never going to feel good about that new camera.
Wow,
That's how you
that's
are,
me,
huh? That she's
100%.
responsibility.
Yeah, I'm literally like that. I feel like she's like that with you. Like you're like that. Like buy me a new camera. Yeah.
Active. Yeah.
What was it?
It's like an act, I can't remember the actual term for it. It's like an act of restitution, I think it
Yeah.
is, but essentially it's like a makeup act.
Yeah.
But I
think
feel like
that-
I'm like that too, but more so, I'm curious. I will take this quiz because I'm really curious to hear what the other ones are, because it is about the act to me, but that can get old for me. If you just know to do something to like, oh, I
Yes,
broke this,
I
I'm going to
also
buy
want
you a
you to
new
take
one, but that wouldn't be
accountability
enough
for
for
your
me
shit,
either. I
man.
want to know that you're not
Be
going to continue to
responsible
do
for your
those things, because
actions.
it's one thing to,
Well, to be
Yeah.
clear, it's
Like-
not always like a purchasing thing. I mean, doing the quiz is important because it could be something where it's like, hey, like I didn't compliment you on your big day. You know, you came home, you made an incredible speech, I didn't talk about it. For me, it's like acknowledge you didn't talk about it, but what's really going to make me feel better is the next time I can see that you did the action.
yeah,
Or
that.
same day, instead you actually take the time and say, here's what I really thought.
Yeah.
So if I'm bringing something up, it's because I want to see that action fixed.
Yeah.
Versus I don't need to feel like down the line or I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That to be said, that's kind of an offline thing. I think that acknowledging, you know, how we just did, making it really small, because sometimes problems can be big, making them as small as possible. Like, here's the next thing I want you to work on for us. And then also too ensuring the person heard you and feels heard by you.
Yeah.
And that apology part, you know, kind of to your point about, we already had this discussion hours ago. Why are you still mad? It could be that you didn't speak Ezee's particular apology language.
Yeah.
You apologized in your way.
Right. Okay.
I think that's a big thing though with you too. You know that apologies mean a lot to me. And you know, over the years that you've worked on it so much, but you know, you gotta continue working on it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard. She's grew up in a family where it's like, all right, we stick together. Anything outside of that, we don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Which is so understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Very
like,
true.
As far as saying we don't really care.
Not like we don't really care, but that loyalty and love that I've seen that she has for her family, it's so admirable. Versus anybody else, it's just like, okay, it's cool. So I feel like with her, one thing that I always complain about is like, dang, like responsibility is like something that you really need to work on, and being apologetic. That's one of my love languages. As you can see, whenever I do actions, like, I'm sorry, baby, what do you need me to do? Okay, what actions do I need to take to show you that I'm sorry? You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge thing of my love language that I think could be better.
And then lastly, I don't know if we want to make time for this, but we actually did get to loosely do this quiz. But I have a quiz. It's called Turn On Triggers People Should Do. But in essence, it's similar to this. It's like what we're really doing in all of these conversations, just becoming more mindful and less on autopilot. So I think a big, hard place to do that is when it comes to sex. Because we're so used to, like, when it's good, and it just naturally happens. The thing with Turn On Triggers is acknowledging that as you become more intertwined and there's less opportunities for that mystery, that you have to be more intentional about making passion rather than passion being a given. And Turn On Triggers is a way to address, like, what makes you feel hot and bothered? And I want to do that thing to even get you in that space before I try coming on to you. And interestingly, you both found that you are turned on by the exact same thing from each other. That you feel the other person's not giving to you.
And that's
being desired.
You know, in my way, I want to feel desired. I want you to compliment me, tell me I'm sexy every day, and like, you know, treat me like I'm daddy. I don't want to feel like I'm just daddy in the bedroom. I want to feel like I'm daddy all day. You know, not, girl, stop, be
daddy
quiet.
All day.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It needs to be like, all right, if I say something, it'd be cool. You'd be like, all right, baby, I got you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of always being argumentative, always like, no, I'm not going to say that. You're not going to talk to me like that. You know, it's like, all right, not that you're a yes man, but you're somebody that can turn me on in a way to like, all right, I don't have to say something this time, you know? And let me know that I am desirable and sexy and attractive and fine as fuck, you know, because sometimes it makes me feel like, I feel like, you know, I'm not attractive. Maybe I gain weight, or is it this, or I'm constantly, let me take my breath, like she doesn't compliment me, you know? So that would be nice.
Okay, well, thanks for expressing that. I'll definitely work on that more. And it's crazy because I didn't know that that was like such a big thing for you. I know that you've mentioned like a few times, like, oh, you didn't tell me I look good, like, or did you like this outfit, like you didn't, but I didn't know that was like as big of a thing for you. But now that you're identifying that, like, I feel like I definitely can take that in and work on that a lot more. Because there's a lot of times I do look at you and I'll be like, oh, she looks so good over there. And I wouldn't say it because it might not come naturally to me to say it. But now that I know it would mean something to you, I definitely want to make the like attempts to say those type of things more.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like on my end, I think just like taking more action, like you taking more action. I think when it comes to like verbally telling me how beautiful I am and things like that, that means a lot to me. It makes me feel so confident in this relationship, but it doesn't make me feel desired, you know, because it doesn't translate to romance and sex and things like that. Like,
in other words,
might be able to
Natalie's
tell me,
from the
oh, you're
show
so
me
beautiful
state.
all the time.
You
but
gotta show
if that
her.
doesn't make me want to tear my clothes off or just do some really romantic, sweet things to set the mood, like it almost is just like having a compliment, like from my mom, because my mom tells me I'm beautiful all the time too.
See what she just did?
I don't mean like in an offensive way, but I'm just saying.
It feels platonic, not passionate.
Yes, platonic, not passionate. Do you get it?
Am I like a mother to you?
No, but No, that's what that's a great way of summarizing. It feels very platonic, not necessarily passion. It's like, wow, she thinks I'm beautiful, so I don't care. I'll walk around the house with my hair crazy because I know she still thinks I'm beautiful, which is so great to feel that like confidence in this relationship. But I do want to feel like there's that passion for me as well.
And I understand.
Is that surprising
exactly
to you? Did you know that she needed more of that, like?
Yeah, I did, because that's how I am naturally, and that's how I was in the beginning of the relationship. And because of all these things that we are going through, I feel like I've lacked that. You know what I'm saying? So I know it. I've done it. I've seen it. I just got to get back in the groove of everything that we talked about so it can be there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this was great.
This was amazing.
This was so good. Thank you so much, Shan.
Thank you for sharing. I think this was such an eye-opener. I learned a lot. It was so beautiful to watch two of you communicate. The trick is to do this without a person and millions of other people watching.
Wow.
Because whenever we have that, that ideal of like, how are people perceiving me?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're talking about too, that comfortability.
Yeah.
Because this is not a comfortable environment to be in.
Yeah.
So how do we take this
and duplicate it
when we're alone?
Yeah, that's so true.
Put in
we
the
should
work.
Always put on a camera. We should start doing that. No, but we don't have to post it. But I wonder if that would be helpful.
That'd be hard to think about a camera.
No, I know, but like imagine if we're going through something and we're like, dang, we need to talk through this. Maybe it would be beneficial for us to put on a camera to see even like our body language, to see how we communicate with each other. Of course, we'll never post it. We could delete it right after watching it. But for educational purposes, that might be helpful for us to see ourselves outside of ourselves, how we will once we edit this, And we don't like want to perceive ourselves even like as like a nasty type of person. Like, so I'm not going to want to watch back and be like, dang, look at me not being understanding at all. So it might make you be more aware. I don't know.
It's a really interesting idea. I think that there's some fascination to that, because then it does create that level of I still have to impress, because it can get harder when we're in a relationship. And again, we share so much. But I mean, it'd be best to do it if you could just do it for each other. Rather than the perception. But you start wherever you need to start.
Yeah. But I feel like it would be for each other too, because I wouldn't want her to see how nasty.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure you wouldn't want me to see that too. Like, I don't know. It could be something we could talk about it later, see if we want to try that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Keep talking.
Yeah. Coming up with ideas and things that could work for us. I mean, and obviously that would just be like a practice thing. It wouldn't be like we would do that all the time, but it might create some type of understanding that we didn't have before.
And then if you felt like posting it, you could.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because this is educational.
Yeah. Make sure you guys follow Shan. This was amazing. I'm glad you guys were here. Neezy Gang, we love you guys so much.
Give us some comments below.
Yes, please.
Hopefully something that you heard today is going to help you in any type of relationship that you're in. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
We love you.
All right, y'all. So let me just go ahead and say this. Right off top, we all know Ezee is a Taurus. I am a Taurus. And Ezee and I are similar in some ways. Okay, I'm the exact same way. We could have a huge argument in the morning and it's like, okay, by afternoon we're cool, we're talking, we're laughing and all of this other shit. But the point is, we still haven't resolved the shit that happened this morning. Okay, like even if it's later that night and you're like, ooh, sexy time, yes, no, bitch, no, I'm still fucking mad about earlier. I don't give a shit if we've been talking all day. Do you not remember what you said this morning? Like, yo, I totally feel Ezee on that one. Because one thing that I can say about myself, and I know that the exact same thing is true for her, the patience is fucking legendary. We will put up with a lot of shit before we decide to fucking explode on you. Now, when we do explode, it's because we are up to fucking here. We've had it, okay? We are at the end of our rope. We've had it. And the thing with the Taurus is there's always that one person that can trigger us. Like, it doesn't take much. It's just like that. Just bitch. You know, and you're flying off the handle. You know, look, from what she was saying, you know, like Natalie, you know, kind of turning it into herself. And y'all remember in this video, I said, oh, you know, November women, they love to argue. Ask me how I know. Because I deal with one. And boy, they love to argue. It's an argument over anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It is an argument. Shit. You can make a sandwich and leave a crumb on the counter and it's going to be a fucking argument. Just anybody that can argue over any damn thing. And that's not cool. And that's one thing that I've noticed about every woman that I've known born in November. The arguing is unbelievable. You know, like she said, Natalie makes it about herself. The only person I know that does that is actually a raging narcissist. Now, I'm not saying that Natalie is a narcissist. She does not hit me as a narcissist. You know, I don't think that she is. She's just, you know, like she said, a very sensitive person. Look, y'all. I've kind of lost my train of thought here of the point that I'm trying to make. But look, Natalie, she does not hit me as a narcissist. She's just one of those people that I guess kind of doesn't want to take responsibility completely for her actions. You know, like the blame can't totally be on her. It has to lie somewhere else as well. Let me just put it like that. Okay, now I also understand, you know, where Ezee was coming from too, saying she just wants to feel like she's desired and all of that shit. I can understand that, you know, but hey, honestly, the day this video was filmed, I think was the day that Ezee got pickpocketed at the Abbey. And in all honesty, y'all, I think that this shit right here, it is, you know, affecting their relationship. But I do believe that, you know, the therapy and stuff like that is working for them, you know. But they could just be showing us the good shit online, and they could be fighting like cats and dogs behind closed doors. However, I don't think that that is the case. I think that they really are living their best lives right now, and the therapy is helping them tremendously with their relationship. Now, again, I said this in the last video that they need to leave their friends and family out of it. I absolutely mean that. Because, especially family, y'all. Because family can be your biggest fucking hater, especially if they don't like your partner. And, you know, sometimes they could just say some shit, you know, like they just don't like the person for a certain reason. See, like Josh, I could go back to Josh. And y'all, my camera's going to die again in a minute. So, yeah, I'm going to have to finish this damn TED Talk on the other side. But let's take Josh, for example. Natalie's brother, Josh. Now, you know, like, he showed up to her Nordstrom event or whatever, but if you've noticed, he hasn't been around Ezee at all. He still has an issue with Ezee, and I think that my opinion, his issue with Ezee is, well, he's jealous of her. He's jealous of her. He's fucking jealous of her. He probably might be jealous of Natalie, too. And, you know, it's amazing, like, he couldn't find the time to come to Ezee's house for her birthday, but he finds the time to drop his kids off over there when he wants to go do whatever he does with Zasha. You know, like, so you can't come over here to my party, you can't come and do anything else, but you could come and bring your kids over here and drop them off with their auntie. Okay. You know, and it's also, like I said, you know, Cena's warming up to the shit. She is. She is. Slowly, but she definitely is. She's coming around a lot more. It's Josh. You know, like, Josh is an issue. And, it's like, Y'all, my camera's about to die. I'll be right back with you. That motherfucker cut off before I was even finished what I was saying. But anyways, like, you know, Josh, this dude has serious issues with Ezee. And he just can't get the fuck over himself, which is exactly what he needs to do. Now, you know, somebody said in my comments, they're like, you know, he's used to the women falling in line because he was the only man and the dominant one. Yes, that is very, 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 very true. You know, because like Natalie's not following behind him anymore, dude. She's with Ezee. Right? And Ezee's daddy. Ezee's the dominant one here. Josh can't stand that shit. He can't. He can't. His fucking ego won't let him. And, you know, he did that prank. All right, y'all remember that prank where he offered Ezee $50,000 to break up with Natalie and all of this other dumb shit? Like, it's fucking retarded. He honestly, he honestly doesn't want them together. I don't give a fuck what comes out of his mouth, y'all. Actions will forever speak louder than words. Josh really doesn't want them to be together, but in this case, fuck his feelings. Dude, your feelings don't fucking matter. This is about your sister and her happiness, and that should be literally the main thing that you should be focusing on. Like, if Ezee makes her happy, dude, just fucking, you know, be happy for her. Stop being a hating ass little bitch on the slide, man. That shit's not cool. You know, like, even Ezee was looking at him like he was crazy in that prank. Because it wasn't a prank. Man, that little 50 grand wasn't gonna move her. That shit wouldn't even move me. A woman like Natalie, are you out of your fucking mind? Look, Ezee and Natalie are both very rare people, okay? They are rarities. I've said a million times before that Ezee is an extremely rare gem. She's like a really extremely rare treasure. You get somebody like her, I would say you are a lucky person. You're very lucky, you know. And I could say the exact same thing about Natalie. And then you put them together, like, they found each other. That's just the best shit ever. But I think that their relationship is going to be fine. Yeah, they're gonna get married. And that's gonna get a ring before Zasha. And I fucking said what I said. Anyways, y'all, I really enjoyed this video. Shan gave great advice, and I do hope that they continue to see her or any other therapist or whatever. And I really hope that they, you know, well, they know, but they need to communicate more, because communication is key. Y'all, they're gonna work it out. It's probably already worked out. You know, this video right here is a little old. It's not that old, but it's old enough, y'all. They're gonna make it, all right? And if I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But anyways, y'all, please, I'm gonna stop talking your fucking ear off. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please do all of that good shit down below. And y'all already know I'm gonna hit y'all with another one.
All right? Have a blessed day.